Hi, welcome back, all you lawn lovers, to a new episode of Tommy's Turf Talks. This week, we're going to be discussing broadleaf weeds and how to control them. And if you're loving this content and each week are just waiting for that new episode of Tommy's Turf Talks, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't ever miss any new content. Also, make sure to hit that share and like button if you want to share your love for Tommy's Turf Talks with the rest of the world. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns or any suggestions for future content, please make sure to leave some comments down in the comment section and I'll address them as quickly as I can. All right, so today's episode is brought to you by Nuclear Nix Lawn Balm. If your lawn is covered in weeds and you don't know what to do, try Nuclear Nix Lawn Balm. It works like a bug bomb, but for plants. Simply set it off in your lawn and your weeds, along with every other living plant, will be destroyed. You'll be left with a big old dirt pit, but you definitely will not have any weeds. All right, roll that beautiful Tommy Turf intro. So, what is a broadleaf weed? Well, it's right there in the name. Broadleaf weeds have large, flat leaves compared to grass weeds. Grass weeds look like grass. They have long, skinny leaves. Whereas broadleaves are flat. Some are very large, some are much smaller, but they all have one or more large, flat leaves that usually stem from a central vein and then branch out. So, the first step in getting rid of your broadleaf weeds is trying to determine what kind of weeds that you have in your lawn. Broadleaf weeds have many, many different types of weeds inside of that category. The common ones that you're going to see: dandelions, clover, thistle, plantain, ground ivy. Those are just to name a few of the common weeds that you see in your home lawns. What I would recommend you do is get one of those apps where you can take pictures of different plants and the AI system will tell you most likely what that plant is. One of the ones that I use is called Picture This. It seems to work pretty good. Down in the comments section, I'll leave a list of a few websites that I find are really useful in trying to identify what kind of weed you're dealing with. And I'll also list them at the end of this video. Now, before you even get into going after your weeds with weed control products, you want to try to address the reasons that you're getting broadleaf weeds. And there's a few common types of reasons that are going on with your turf and with your soil that might be causing your broadleaf weed issues. Number one is compaction. A lot of weeds love nice compacted soil. So if you're not aerating your property once a year or at least once every other year, then you're going to tend to get a lot more weeds. Another one is lawn density. If your lawn is very thin and there's a lot of space for other plants to grow into, then you're always going to get weeds. Weeds, 9 times out of 10, will outcompete your turf grass. So you want to try to get it as thick as possible. You do this by aerations and overseeds. That's a good yearly practice to do. Slowly over time, that practice will build up your lawn density and you'll get less and less weeds, which means you have to spray less and less chemicals to get rid of the weeds. And another one that a lot of people tend to forget about is nutrients. A lot of weeds like to grow in low nutrient soil. So if you keep your lawn well fed with high quality fertilizer, then you'll eliminate weeds naturally. Also, there's a lot of products out there that I'll go over in future videos that will help improve your soil health and improve the microorganism activity within your soil. Good soil health is always going to promote turf grass growth and not weed growth. So, aerating your property, trying to eliminate compaction, this will help. Making sure that you are throwing seed down every so often so that your grass will stay thick and lush, that will help. Making sure that you're sticking to a good fertilizer program to keep the nutrients at good levels within your soil, that will help. And also, if you're mowing very short and allowing a lot of sunlight to get down to the soil, that again is going to heat the soil up, cause more weeds to germinate. So those 4 things, if you can try to improve your cultural practices, you're going to naturally eliminate a lot of the weed problems in your lawn. You can go after broadleafs with organic options. Most of these options are going to be iron-based. One such product that Site One sells is called Fiesta. This is an organic weed control that will take care of your weeds. It does have to be applied quite more often than the chemical herbicide options. But if you want to stay organic, that is one option you can go with that will slowly but surely take care of your broadleaf weeds. But if you want to go the organic route, really the best option is sticking to aerations, overseeds, proper mowing, proper watering, proper fertilization, and that slowly over time will eliminate the possibility of broadleafs growing into your lawn. So once you have identified what kind of weeds that you're dealing with, now you can go out and choose which product is going to most efficiently go after those weeds. A lot of products nowadays have multiple different active chemicals in there. So really, any product is going to kill the majority of the weeds you're going to see on your home lawn. They put multiple chemicals in there now so that one product can go after a wide range of different kinds of weeds. So a lot of the common chemicals that you're going to see in most of your broadleaf weed controls, the main one is going to be 2,4-D. You'll see sulfentrazone, you'll see carfentrazone, you'll see dicamba. Those are the big four in a lot of the products out there. But again, there's a wide ranging of different products. Some are very specific, go after very specific weeds. Some are more broad and will cover a long, long list of weeds. Some do some weeds better than others. So it's important to make sure you're picking the right chemical for the right application, the right weed that you're going after. I'm not going to list them all, but at the end of this video, I will list off a few of the most common ones that you're going to see at Home Depot, at Menards, at Site Ones, so you have a better idea of what you may be going after. So once you've figured out what kind of product you're going to need to go after the weeds that you have in your lawn, you got to know how to apply it. These products are going to be sold in numerous different ways. They're going to come in concentrates that need to be mixed with water. They're going to come ready to use, either in gallon jugs with small spray attachments or in bottles that you attach to your hose. Or there are also a few dry products out there that will go after your broadleaf weeds. I'm not really a big fan of these just because they usually don't go after a large amount of weeds, and the ones that they do go after, they don't control that well. You also need to make sure that your grass is wet when you apply these, because little granulars have to drop on that blade and have to work their way into that plant. Just not as effective as liquid weed controls. But if it's easier for you, you can definitely go that route. It's going to take care of a lot of your common weeds. What I would recommend is always going with concentrates. They may be a bit more expensive up front, but you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck out of one of these than buying the ready-to-use jugs that you can find at your big box stores. Those tend to not go as far, so it may seem cheaper on the front end, but you're going to be spending money more often replacing used product. With these, they will last as long as you want them to. Just make sure they don't freeze. Keep them in the house, in the basement, you'll be good to go. I'm going to be using this concentrate today, T-Zone, which is a great product if you have a lot of ground ivy / creeping Charlie. I'm not actually going to be putting this in the tank today because I did just spray weeds last weekend. So I'm just going to put water in the tank today and show you how you would spray a weed. But if I were going to be using this product for real today, I would make sure to read the label, make sure that I have the proper PPE equipment on, and make sure that I'm reading how much to mix into this 4-gallon tank of water. And again, all of these products that are concentrates are not going to have a per ounce per gallon ratio on the label. They're going to have a per ounce per 1,000 square foot on the label. So you got to make sure that you calibrate your equipment. I'm going to go through calibration in an episode coming up. All right, let's get this backpack filled up and let's go spray some weeds. All right, so again, I know I'm not wearing the proper PPE equipment, but like I said, I'm not actually spraying any herbicide. There's just water in the tank, so it's fine. If I was actually spraying herbicide, I would make sure to have shoes on, long pants, to be able to follow the label instructions of whatever product that I'm using. So if you're using concentrates with a backpack or a little hand sprayer, or if you're using the pre-mixed ready-to-use products that come in little half-gallon or gallon jugs with a spray attachment, or the ones that hook up with your hose, the idea behind it is exactly the same. You only want to spot spray the weeds that are present. You don't need to spray your whole lawn. The broadleaf herbicide is a post-emergent herbicide, meaning that it's only going to attack the weeds that are present. So, spraying the whole lawn where the weeds aren't, total waste of time, total waste of money, not necessary. I would recommend just walking back and forth in your lawn in lines and keeping an eye out for weeds and spraying them while you see them. Just like so. All right, so as you're walking back and forth on your turf, come up to a weed. You don't want to sit there and linger on it. You don't want to go too fast. You just want a nice paint motion over the top of the weed. That's all you need. You're good to go. Keep on walking to the turf, looking for more weeds as you go. The minute you see one, here's one that I sprayed the other day. You can see that it's dying already. But you would just do a nice fan motion over the top, and that sucker will be dead in a few days. Again, here's an old dandelion I sprayed the other day. You can see that it's starting to wilt and turn colors. Right over the top of it, good to go. A lot of the weed control products out there are going to take a few days for you to notice any kind of change to the weed. But if you applied correctly, they will, after 3 to 4 days, start to wilt, change colors. After about a week or two, they'll be completely dead. There you are. Easy as that. Now, if you have one of those hose attachment type products, you're not going to be able to walk back and forth across the lawn, of course, but you can at least get out, do a whole area, move on to the next one. Try to remember where you've been. You don't want to overapply the herbicide. Put down too much, you do run the risk of burning the grass. More likely than not, if you do put down too much, you're just going to burn the tips of the grass. You're not going to kill it completely. If you do happen to put down way too much and are worried about killing the grass, just make sure you water it in really, really good after the application, and you shouldn't have a problem. Well, that's a wrap on this week's episode of Tommy's Turf Talks. I hope you got a few of your broadleaf weed questions answered and have a little bit more knowledge and feel a little bit more confident in going out to the store, purchasing a herbicide, and spraying the weeds that you have on your lawn. If you don't feel comfortable doing this, by all means, go out and hire a contractor. They do this day in and day out, and they'll have no problem taking care of your weeds for you. Well, I'm off to kill a few more of these damn weeds. We'll see you next week. Bye.